Alright Seahawks Nation, starting another news roundup here on the channel with more information about our Seahawks. Welcome to another episode, always keeping you updated. This is Charles speaking with you. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, you'll stay well informed about the Seattle Seahawks and help support me with a like. It really motivates me and strengthens my work here on the channel. Seahawks fans, let's kick off with the latest update coming in. Remember Nick Bellore, our special teams captain in 2023? Well, it looks like he's on the move. Check this out, according to several reports, Bellore is joining the Washington Commanders practice squad. That's right, folks. Our beloved captain is heading to the capital. Let's break it down a bit. We've had an offseason full of changes, new coaching staff, new defensive scheme. Everyone got excited about these changes. But it seems not everyone did, right? Here's the interesting part, in Washington, Bellore will be playing under Dan Quinn, remember him? He was our defensive coordinator. And it doesn't stop there, he'll also be teaming up with Bobby Wagner. Yes, our Bobby Wagner is now with the Commanders. And check out this coincidence, Wagner signed with the Commanders partly to replace Cody Barton, who was also a Seahawk. And guess what Barton's doing now? He's gearing up to be run over in Week 1 as a Denver Broncos player. So much change, huh? But back to Bellore. It seems he and the Commanders have been eyeing each other for a while. Bellore even practiced with them during training camp. And here's another key detail, Larry Easop, who was our special teams coordinator, now has the same role with the Commanders. That means Bellore will probably be entering a system he's already familiar with and can contribute right away. Will we miss him on our special teams? Who do you think could take over as captain now? Continuing with the news, we have an update. Brady Henderson, that ESPN reporter who's always in the know, dropped a bombshell. Seahawks are releasing wide receiver Easop Winston from the practice squad. That's right, folks. But hold on, there's more. Henderson also mentioned that the team is likely planning to bring in a quarterback in a chess move. Could it be Jaren, who we talked about in the last video? Let's talk a bit about Winston, guys. The guy's 26 years old and has an interesting story. He went undrafted in 2020, coming out of Washington State. He then signed as a rookie with the Rams but was waived after training camp. In 2021, Winston joined the Saints. He even played in 3 games there, folks. He had 10 kick returns, totaling 119 yards. Not bad, huh? Then, in 2022, something funny happened. The Browns claimed Winston off waivers from the Saints, but he never played there. He was waived after the preseason. And that's when we came into the picture. The Seahawks signed him to the practice squad in October last year. We even re-signed him for 2022 but ended up cutting him in April. If we're releasing a wide receiver from the practice squad to bring in a quarterback, it shows that the front office is concerned about our QB depth, right? Remember, we only have Geno Smith and Sam Howell on the main roster. Could the team think we need more depth at the position? Or is there a specific quarterback they have their eyes on? Do you think it was a good decision to release Winston? And who do you think this quarterback we're bringing in might be? Could it be Jaren? Or is there another name in the mix? To wrap up, an update on Jaren. Remember that QB who played for the Vikings last season? The guy was without a team after Minnesota cut him to make room for Brett Rippon. But guess what? The Seahawks are bringing him home. Bob Condotta, that Seattle Times reporter who's always in the know, dropped the bomb. Hall will be our third QB, but on the practice squad. To make room for him, we released wide receiver Easop Winston. It's the classic one out, one in move. Let's talk a bit about Hall because this guy has a story. Last season, he was one of 4 starting quarterbacks for the Vikings. That's right, 4. Along with Kirk Cousins, Joshua Dobbs, and Nick Mullins. It was crazy over there in Minnesota. And check out Hall's numbers, the kid completed 65% of his passes with an impressive average of 8.4 yards per attempt. That's no small feat. But then, Bad luck struck. He suffered a concussion in his first game as a starter, and in his second start against the Packers, he ended up on the bench. But let's rewind a bit. Hall was drafted by the Vikings in the 164th overall pick last year. In college, the guy was a machine, 31 touchdowns against just 6 interceptions in his final year at BYU. And here's a fun fact, he was Zach Wilson's successor at BYU. That explains the talent, right? Why are the Seahawks bringing him in? Well, according to Brady Henderson of ESPN, we've had our eye on him since before last year's draft. And here's something interesting, we had PJ Walker in this third QB role during training camp, but we cut him last week. The plan is clear, the Seahawks are going to develop Hall. He'll be behind Geno Smith, our starter, and Sam Howell, who we brought in via trade. Howell is under contract for 2 more years, and Geno is signed through 2025. So, Hall will have time to learn and grow. And there's more. With the new NFL rules, we can call Hall up to the main roster 3 times before having to use waivers. That gives our team a lot of flexibility. What do you think of this signing? Could Hall surprise us and fight for a spot on the main roster? Or will he stay as an emergency option? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, it's really important. We're in this together, thanks for everything, and go Seahawks.